So here we go.
These guys have a lot to say, and they never stop talking.
If I'm here and you're here, doesn't that make it our time?
Sky's the limit and space is the place.
Ooh, yeah.
Live from News Talk 1480 WHBC.
It's a household name.
You understand me?
It's Kenny and JT.
Have a great show!
Wait a minute, I think I'm going to sneeze. Hold on a second. Okay, it passed. We're coming to you live from the corner of 6th and Market in beautiful downtown Canton, Ohio. 32 degrees right now in the heart of the Hall of Fame. What's up?
It's 3 degrees today, man.
I can walk around without a jacket.
I wore long johns today just in case, as I've done the last 3 or 4. Yeah, I do. I got my
Grandpa.
Fruit of the Loom long johns on that I wear on the sidelines during football season, and we're talking negative wind chill temp. Dude, I don't care. Laugh at me all you want. I love my long johns.
You're inside. The furnace works. I'm sorry. The boiler works today.
But I've got to drive 45 minutes each way. What if my car broke down? I'd be freezing my ass off if I didn't have the long johns on. Yes, I did. I know.
We have a boiler.
I've accepted it.
When Brian goes to take a break, you know what he does?
Right.
He goes and throws coal in the boiler.
That's right. Yep. And then Damster, they get the wheel turning as well for the other lights in here that we have on and all that. So, but we made it here.
Yes.
It's balmy. And the Browns are still looking for their head coach, their previous head coach, making headlines by accepting the job in Atlanta and for other reasons.
Yeah, the real story for me is Baker Mayfield's comments on X. And this is kind of like what I've been saying for, I don't know, maybe the last 6 months, that Kevin Stefanski never gets along with any of his quarterbacks, including Baker Mayfield.
I guess Baker is upset because after the Browns traded him for a 5th-round pick to the Carolina Panthers, he didn't get a phone call, a text message, from Kevin Stefanski to say thank you for your time here. Good luck elsewhere.
We got treated like garbage, according to Baker.
According to Baker. All right. And this was Baker Mayfield's post on X in response to Atlanta Journal-Constitution reporter that said this. Still waiting on a text call from Stefanski after the Browns shipped him off like a piece of garbage. Can't wait to see you twice a year, coach. Failed is quite the reach, pal, Mayfield wrote when the reporter said that he and Deshaun Watson failed as quarterbacks in Cleveland.
I like Baker Mayfield again.
Yeah, again.
I mean, these are things that I was wondering for so long, and I wondered what Kevin Stefanski's real trait, what is he really good at? And we thought maybe it was developing quarterbacks, and you gave up on a Baker Mayfield because you got to town and he was already here. You didn't like him. You didn't want to work with him. Isn't that part of the interview process? Your quarterback is Baker Mayfield. Get things right.
Maybe Stefanski interviewed him, worked with him, and didn't like the way Baker wasn't working with him, because if we remember correctly, Baker's second year here, he was more worried about his commercials and all the other stuff he was doing off the field, and he had a horrible second year.
I wondered if that were some of the problems that he went through this season in Tampa Bay, because you saw him reappear on TV quite a bit.
Yep.
But he also still threw for 3,693 yards, 26 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Now let's go back to his final year in Cleveland.
All right.
He plays 14 games, throws for over 3,000 yards, 17 TDs, and 13 interceptions. But everybody said, wait a minute. He was hurt because they didn't want to extend him. So he played through an injury. And then in the last game that he played against Pittsburgh, they threw him to the Wolves.
Here's the thing. When they got rid of Baker Mayfield, I was okay with it. I wasn't okay with who they went out and got then in Deshaun Watson. So therefore, looking back on it, would you rather have kept Baker Mayfield? Absolutely. He led them to the playoffs, right? He's been their best quarterback since they've been back, arguably, as far as a high draft pick quarterback, first round, quarterback. And would you take him now over what they have? Absolutely. Having said all that, I don't think Baker Mayfield becomes this version of Baker Mayfield without getting shipped off by the Browns, released by the Panthers, going to the Rams, learning whatever he learned there, and then signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I think all of this needed to take place in order for Baker Mayfield to be the Baker Mayfield that he is.
It's called maturity. He matured after he left, and he had a come to Jesus moment, is what he even said, because they were running him on the scout team in Carolina.
Yep.
So he wasn't going to be the starting quarterback. And how about Carolina at the same time? Had Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold.
Right. Both of them.
Both reclamation projects. Both really good starting quarterbacks now. Sam Darnold's going to play in the NFC Championship game. He wins that game against the 49ers. He's playing in a Super Bowl.
And I couldn't how about this? I liked Sam Darnold coming out of college at USC because of what he did to Penn State in the bowl game. I saw him, I'm like, damn, that looks like an NFL quarterback. And then he stunk. I mean, he absolutely stunk. He was terrible. Now, could it have been the teams he played on? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But bottom line is I wanted nothing to do with Sam Darnold. Now, after watching Sam Darnold the last 2 years, 2 different teams, right?
Yep.
This kid looks like he's figured it out.
Why do you think the Browns want to interview Udinski? He was an offensive coordinator that got Sam Darnold on the right track, and he also is taking credit for Trevor.
Udinski, how did he get Darnold
He
on the right
coached
track?
Darnold in one of his stops along the way. Darnold's been on, 6-7 teams.
Okay.
He was one of his quarterback coaches or an
Okay.
offensive coordinator, and then Trevor Lawrence's offensive coordinator. So now if you're the Cleveland Browns and you want a young offensive-minded coach,
Yep.
you've got to go get someone that can work with a young quarterback.
Grant Udinski will have his second interview in Cleveland this Friday. All right. They've interviewed Jim Schwartz twice. May the Schwartz be with you. Todd Monken twice. He interviewed yesterday for the second time. They were supposed to interview today Mike McDaniel, but he said, no, thanks. I'll see you. I'm going to the Chargers and being their offensive coordinator. So tomorrow, I'm not sure. Oh, I know who it is. Jesse Minter is tomorrow for his second interview, the cheater from Michigan. Nate Schillhouse, who they want to interview, they can't till next week because he's with the Rams and they're playing this weekend. And then Udinski is Friday with his second interview.
Udinski, assistant offensive coordinator and assistant quarterback coach 2024 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay, so he was with Sam Darnold there.
Jacksonville Jaguars offensive coordinator this past season.
All right. And then Sean McDermott, don't know what the Browns' interest in Sean McDermott is. Not sure.
I don't think there is much because I think if you look at Sean McDermott, you might say we've already got a Sean McDermott. Just go ahead and hire Schwartz.
You
A
mean-
defensive mind,
okay.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you want a defensive-minded head coach, is he willing to either be the head coach? Then he's got to hire a defensive coordinator anyway. So what sense does that make? Nobody's going to make a lateral move to come to Cleveland if they're already a defensive coordinator elsewhere to come to Cleveland, in my opinion, to be the defensive coordinator.
Why wouldn't McDermott want to come here as just the head coach and knowing he can trust his defensive coordinator, therefore spending more time on the offense?
Oh, you're assuming that Schwartz would want to be his defensive coordinator and not the head coach?
If Schwartz does not get the head coaching job,
Yeah, he's staying.
he's still under contract for one more year.
Would he want him to be his defensive
I don't
coordinator?
know. That's a great question.
See, you
I'm
never
not
know.
sure. And obviously, if you interview for the head coaching job, you don't get it. It's kind of a tough pill to swallow to stay on the coaching staff in the same role. But if McDermott, asks him and says,
Yeah.
look, between the two of us, we can have the most dominant
Yeah.
defense in the NFL. Please stay with me and help me turn this thing around. I don't know if that would be accepted by Schwartz, but again, we don't know what the interest is in McDermott with the Browns and vice versa.
What's in a contract anyway?
Yeah, they can release him or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Stefanski still, I believe, had 2 years remaining on his contract. They got rid of him. If you want to let a guy go, they'll let him go. I mean, if Schwartz has a better opportunity elsewhere, I don't know, even though he's interviewed, if he would become a head coach or if he even do we even know if he wants to become a head coach?
Who's
Just
that?
because you interview doesn't mean you want to be a head coach. Jim Schwartz.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. You think he wants on his resume his time in Detroit as his only head coaching gig or
No.
with a horrible record? Hell no.
I'm surprised he stayed here this long.
Once a coach, always a coach. If I can get that second opportunity, I'm going to prove everybody else
Don't know.
wrong. And I'm going to show you that my second time around is going to work as a head coach. Hell yeah, he wants to be a head coach.
His success was at the Eagles where they won a Super Bowl as a defensive coordinator.
He's done exactly. So he's reached the pinnacle as a defensive coordinator. He's done that already. He hasn't reached the pinnacle as a head coach.
Mhm.
So I think he would love to get the second opportunity to be a head coach.
If he's not here at the Cleveland Browns, I don't think he gets an interview anywhere else.
Didn't he get one? Somebody else.
Baltimore interviewed him.
right? Yeah. So
So they obviously don't. Wouldn't you think that the Browns and everybody that told us, where it was Daryl Ryder or any of the other reporters that we talked to, Petrak, they thought that the Browns knew that they were going to move on from Stefanski. Shouldn't they have somebody in place by now?
No, because it may be that Shieldhouse is their guy and they can't talk to him, right? So you got to wait that out. It may be Joe Brady. I'm surprised they haven't talked to Joe Brady. Now, Joe Brady's getting an interview with the Buffalo Bills. I expect him to have a great shot at becoming the Bills head coach and taking over offensive coordinator, Josh Allen. Josh had nothing to do with the firing. Horse manure. Okay, I'll clean it up for radio. Horse hockey. So I think Brady's got a shot there as an offensive-minded head coach to work more with Josh Allen. Of the guys that they've interviewed.
Hasn't he already worked with Josh Allen?
Yeah, and he's going to get to continue to do so, but get him more weapons on offense.
Well, then that's basically on their general manager, not their head coach or their offensive coordinator. Because I can look at Joe Brady and say he failed. He failed as much as Sean McDermott did. Sean McDermott's a defensive-minded coach who hired Joe Brady.
Yeah, and Brady, with the lack of talent, still made them one of the most powerful offenses in the NFL. And did you see it? Well, I believe it was the owner today or the president who came out and they threw Sean McDermott under the bus today, saying that Keon, who's the receiver for them? Keon somebody. Second-round pick.
No.
He went out of his way today to say it wasn't the GM who made that pick. It was the coaches. So, in other words, our receivers stink, but don't blame the guy I kept. Blame the guy we fired.
Something wrong there. When they traded for Stephon Diggs, it didn't work out, and now Diggs is playing in the AFC Championship game as a member of the New England Patriots. Something is wrong there. Maybe it was Sean McDermott, or maybe it was when Ken Dorsey was there. I mean, they've had so many different offensive coordinators, and yet something still doesn't work. It's not Sean McDermott's fault that Josh Allen turned the ball over, 4 times the other day.
Right.
Maybe he put him in harm's way, or maybe Joe Brady called bad play. We don't know if he called the plays. I'd assume he did.
Yeah.
But he put him in a bad situation to where Josh Allen failed. It's on him.
No, I don't blame that on the OC. That is on Josh Allen. He stunk. Josh Allen played like a rookie quarterback in his first playoff game. He made decisions and throws that an MVP cannot make. And then today, what else do they come out with, right? Oh, he's hurt. His foot's hurt. He might have to have surgery.
No.
Might not, but he might. So that's kind of their way of saying, oh, okay, the reason he played so bad was he wasn't 100%.
See, that's what I always say about Baker Mayfield. Oh, he was hurt. No, you lost 7 of your last 9 games. Oh, he was hurt. No, he wasn't hurt. Was he injured? Everybody's hurt this time of year. And we saw Josh Allen get banged up against the Browns.
Yeah.
But he was still able to answer the bell, and he started every game, and he never took, as far as I know, any time off. The problem with the Bills is this. No different than the Houston Texans. When things aren't working out offensively, and this is on Nick Haley, St. Thomas grad, who was their offensive coordinator, they didn't make things easier for C.J. Stroud, and he failed miserably. Hell, he failed against Pittsburgh. They were able to overcome their misgivings and still beat Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh's offense is terrible, playing in a terrible division. But my point is this.
Okay.
Sometimes you have to help your quarterback out. Run the damn ball. Make things easier.
Here's what I think happened with both of those quarterbacks. Okay. And they're Pro Bowl caliber quarterback. Hell, one's an MVP. Both realized the shortcomings of their offense and tried to do way too much. CJ Stroud and Josh, what they have combined between them the last time they played? 9 turnovers, right? 4 for Allen, I think 5 for Stroud, whatever it was. I think both quarterbacks took it upon themselves to try and do more than that offense was capable of doing, and therefore they forced things and turned the ball over.
2 years ago, we were talking about the misgivings of the Cleveland Guardians in the postseason.
Yeah.
And one of the things we came up with was this. Once you get to the postseason, who are you playing? Better talent, other playoff teams, caliber teams. Well, that's the same thing I think the Buffalo Bills ran into, and obviously the Houston Texans ran into. We already knew they didn't have a running game, so obviously they're going to try to beat you with the pass. Their best wide receiver is out in Houston, and as far as we know, the Buffalo Bills don't have a wide receiver. They've got guys on the team, I get, but they're like the Cleveland Browns when it comes down to your pecking order. If you're in a fantasy football draft, are you taking Shakir? I'm not.
Hell no, I'm not taking a Browns wide receiver or a Bills wide receiver. I'm taking a Browns tight end or a Bills tight end. That's who both teams featured, the Browns and the Bills. They featured their tight ends because they had to, right? They got no other options.
Right.
All right, so Jim Schwartz, Todd Monken, 2 interviews each. Grant Udinsky, Jesse Minter, each with an interview, and they're coming in for in-person interviews this week. Nate Schiehlhaus, I don't know if they've interviewed him via Zoom or I know they haven't interviewed him in person. Those are the 5 guys supposedly still on their list. Now, let me finish right here. Browns still have to interview one more in-person minority candidate or a woman to satisfy the Rooney Rule. Nate Schiehlhaus, you have to interview 2, right? Nate Schiehlhaus is 1. Don't know who that second one is going to be, okay? I don't think that second interview there or that second person there will be a serious contender for the head coaching job. With that in mind, Minter, Schiehlhaus, Udinski, Munkin, or Schwartz, who do you want of that group if that's what they're picking?
If I'm keeping Shedeur Sanders, I need somebody that can develop him, and I want to go with this Udinski, just based on what he's done in the last few stops.
Okay, yeah, because Minter's a DC, right? Schiehlhaus isn't an OC or DC. He's a Rams passing game coordinator. However, did you know this about Schiehlhaus? He was the offensive coordinator for Matt Campbell at Iowa State.
Yes, but what I really want is Jim Schwartz. I want the leader in the clubhouse, somebody who's already familiar with the team and somebody who's already had head coaching experience. If we're going to go the other way, and it seems like that's what they want to do. They want an offensive-minded young coach that they can keep under their thumb and do the things that they want him to do, then you're getting the next Kevin Stefanski. You should have just kept him.
If they take Nate Schiehlhaus as the offensive coordinator, that is a promotion from the Rams. So they could keep Schwartz as their head coach and run their defense. They could offer the OC to Schiehlhaus and make him, that's a promotion for him. So they could take him away from the Rams and then see how he does in case Schwartz fails.
Here's the real problem.
What?
The Browns being the Browns. And we know what they need, and it's no different than any other team that's usually looking for a head coach. Whether it's offensive-minded, defensive-minded, we need a leader. We look at teams that are looking for a coach. Let's take the Pittsburgh Steelers, for instance, a team that's got rich history and a great culture, right? Their candidates still do. They have a great culture. They still go 500 or above. They still win ball games. They still pack their stadium, and they still have fans with those stupid, terrible towels that follow them all over the country. Here are their candidates: Anthony Weaver, Brian Flores, Mike McCarthy. These guys, Clay Kubiak, Jesse Minter. Other than that, maybe Chris Shula. My point is this. Based in rich, deep history, knowing how to win games, I don't care if they haven't won a playoff game in 30 years, let alone 10. The problem is this. Why aren't you looking at the same guys the Pittsburgh Steelers are looking at? Why aren't you looking at the same guys the Baltimore Ravens are looking at? Why didn't you look at Harbaugh, or at least offer him and let him say no? These are things that make me scratch my head when I think of the Cleveland Browns, because other programs have always been better than them, but yet we stretch and we look for a guy with no head coaching experience because we want to keep him under our thumb.
Here's what I will say, being a Steelers fan. I got my gear on today because they fired Tomlin. Step in the right direction for the Steelers. Their MO with the last 3 coaches they've hired. No head coaching experience, in their 30s, defensive side of the ball. That was Chuck Noll, that was Bill Carr, and that was Mike Tomlin, okay? Currently, Nate Schiehlhaus is a guy they're interested in. Chris Shula is the hot name, and both of those guys fit the MO, with the exception of Schiehlhaus being an offensive guy, with Shula a defensive guy. They're in their 30s. Jesse Minter, defensive guy, a little older than what they're used to, but still younger candidate, 42, okay? McCarthy's 66. I can't see McCarthy as the head coach unless they are also picking his successor to be on his staff. So if they were to name McCarthy as the head coach and bring Schiehlhaus along to call the plays, and then Schiehlhaus eventually takes, I could see that. Or the same with another young guy.
McCarthy, they just had in Tomlin. Same coach, always 500, floating around it. The thing that makes him look good in Pittsburgh, he's a Pittsburgh guy.
Yeah, he is. And he's got a Super Bowl ring, too.
Right.
So Schwartz, 59, Munkin, 59, Minter, 42, Schiehlhaus, 35, Udinski, 30. Are you going to trust your football team to a 30-year-old that's never been a head coach?
Are you the Cleveland Browns?
Yes.
Do you trust him, or do you want to just hire him? Because, yes, they're going to hire him. Do they trust him? Who cares? Who knows? Who knows what Jimmy Haslam's thinking?
Is that what they want?
Have they ever done anything but that?
Not with Haslam.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, this is Schwartz, Munkin, Udinsky,
All right.
Schilhaus, Minter, and
All
then
right.
they've got to interview one more minority candidate and possibly Sean McDermott
Okay.
if they have any interest, or maybe he just said, don't bother calling me.
At the bottom of the hour, we're going to talk to Garrett Bush, former McKinley player, host of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show on YouTube.
Yep.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So when we get into this, we're going to see who he likes and what he thinks of these other guys and these candidates. In the meantime, before we get to our first break here today, I want to tell you that last night I had no idea what to watch. And there was some basketball on.
Yeah.
I didn't want to watch. There's probably some college games. I didn't want to watch anything.
NBA.
So I'm flipping channels. And I come across this. You ever watch the Vice Network?
I have no idea what that is.
Vice Network is normally Beyond the Ring. There are just different stories,
Okay.
mostly documentary stuff.
Okay.
There's a show called Don't Call It a Comeback. And what it is famous comebacks in sporting events.
Okay.
And the one was, we talk about it all the time, when the Houston Oilers had a huge lead in, I believe, a wild card game in Buffalo. Buffalo comes back and beats them in overtime.
Right.
Another game was the San Francisco 49ers hosting the New York Football Giants. Giants missing a field goal. 49ers win with Jeff Garcia.
Okay.
2007 Indians led 3-1 over the Boston Red Sox in the ALCS.
So 3 games to 1.
Correct.
Okay.
And the Red Sox outscored the Indians 30-5 in the final 3 games. Do you remember this series?
Yes, that's when Pedro came out of the bullpen and shut us down for the last 6 innings to win the series.
I don't think that was it.
No?
This was when Joel Skinner didn't send
Oh.
Kenny Lofton from third to tie the game in the 7th inning or whatever, or in the 7th game, and they end up losing. They get outscored 30-5. This is Bo Bichette. Is it Bo Bichette?
Dante Bichette.
Dante Bichette, the pitcher.
Oh, no, not the pitcher. Dante Bichette was a hitter. Who's the Bichette? I don't know which Bichette is the pitcher. Who's the pitcher?
Let me go back and look at these.
Is there a
notes.
Bichette?
I'm sorry, Josh Beckett.
Oh, Beckett. Oh, yes. Big Josh Beckett. Big difference. Yeah.
So you lose that game, and
Yeah.
your pitching staff, the only ace that you had was CC Sabathia.
Okay.
And it was unbelievable because I'm watching this and I'm looking at the box score and I'm going, who are these guys? And the Indians made it. Grady Sizemore is your center fielder. They made the trade for Lofton. He's playing left field in that game.
Oh,
It
really?
was terrible.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. All
Game
right.
away from getting to the World Series.
So what year again was this?
2007.
I got to go back and look then.
It was unbelievable.
Because I know there was a Red Sox series against the Indians that Pedro
You're
came
right.
out of the bullpen, right? And he pitched 6, I think, relief no-hit innings to beat the Indians and win the series.
Here's some of the players on
Go
the
ahead.
Indians that year.
Go ahead.
Josh Barfield, Rafael Betancourt, Casey Blake, I think he's your third baseman, Joe Borowski, Paul Bird, Asdrubal Cabrera,
Oh, wow.
Aaron Foltz, Ryan Garco, Chris Gomez, Franklin Gutierrez, Travis Hafner, your man, the Gronk.
Gronk.
I called him Gronk. Roberto Hernandez, Aaron Laffey, Jensen Lewis, our guy,
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
Kenny Lofton, Victor Martinez, Tom Masney is one of the pitchers, Jason Michaels, Trot Nixon. Do you remember Trot Nixon?
I do remember.
Played for
Trotman.
us. I
Yeah,
forgot
yeah.
that he played for us. Johnny Peralta, Rafael Perez, CC Sabathia, Kelly Shopik, Grady Sizemore, and Jake Westbrook make it to the ALCS.
That's
It was terrible.
so you watched this whole thing.
Yeah, I cried.
I
3-1 lead,
right.
best of 7 series, and get outscored 30-5 in the last 3 games.
All right. I'm wrong in game 7. It was Daisuke Matsuzaka was the pitcher for the Red Sox, not Pedro in that game 7. And Kevin Youkilis, the Yuka. Kevin Youkilis had a huge series for them in that one. So you sat and watched this knowing the result. You sat and watched this whole
Well,
thing.
it was because game 7,
Yeah.
Sox are leading 2-0.
Yeah.
And there was would have been an infield hit, hits the left field wall, Kareem's out into left field, and Joel Skinner's the third base coach. Kenny Lofton is rounding second, hits third base, and he holds him.
Held him up.
Had they have tied the game at 2, they were thinking at that point in time, who knows what might have happened. But instead, it was just an onslaught, and you lose that game 11-2.
What channel is this again?
Vice Network.
I will never watch it. If they're going to just show bad things about Cleveland teams, I'm
it
staying away from
wasn't.
it.
It was just that game.
It's Kenny and JT on WHBC.